It's midweek, which means we are probably in dire need for a pick-me-up, which means more Symphogear, and having the dangers of godly power being thrust upon us, having duty and resolve tested with civilians dying right in front of them, and a certain reveal over a certain character. There's a lot going on. But is it going to be enough to keep them down? At least until we see the next transformation sequence, which is above and beyond anything I could have hoped for. But for now, maybe we should just settle down and watch it. So grab a drink, because we're about to begin. There is like unlimited destruction in this world, and the fact that everyone just kind of gets on with their life, whether they're being lied to about what exactly is going on, or just going the complete other way and building up evil organizations to left arm? Suffering damage that doesn't seem to be immediately just healed up for the next encounter, having what seems to be permanent injuries or ones where it seems to at least take a toll on them. It's quite interesting having a not really sympathetic, but at least an adversary that we can understand, fighting for one another, trying to make sure their family, those that they care about, survive and do well. So, you'd think maybe there'd be the sorts that would be able to strike up a conversation, at least if they would listen for a second. But with the Japanese overlord guy really pulling strings, how's that going to interfere with things? Yeah, I kind of guessed it correct. I know that someone said, probably several comments actually, commenting about what each of the new antagonists were really kind of represented by. Vampire and Werewolf, yeah, that was kind of obvious. Frankenstein, I think I said something to the likes, but I didn't express that all too well, I don't think. Yeah, tales of folklore and whatnot becoming core design traits. Something I can get behind. Oh, school time. No time to just go out and get pancakes or anything again. That's surprising. Wanting just to have a normal life. But duty calls. She probably needs it. Noble of Red. I mean, not the worst name I've heard. Yeah, they're seeing them as just offshoots of Adam and whatnot, and therefore it needs to be brought down and crushed immediately. So far, all their evil deeds are, well, attacking the consort was a big one, but if it wasn't for that, trying to skip the queue and get some blood transfusions. It'll be ready for any occasion. You think there's time for karaoke when there's evil afoot? she's been back to her old sensibilities, the blade that has to be sharpened at all times. In person? That is a very tight-fitting jacket. I've kept off from saying anything for a while, but I've seen something like that before. I think it was in Skyrim. Huh. So now that Tiki is down, you don't have some astrologer able to see the positions of the planets and stars. Just have a mechanism for it. Overloaded? Need to have some repairs done on it. Any particular reason why the gauntlet was out of reach? Jesus. You know, failure will not be forgiven. Do you really think that grabbed the bracer? What is it? Are they all just going to be letting him get away with this? I think that's a bit more than what the body can handle. Well, at least they've seen it firsthand. More research needs to be done. So, grabbing her wrist might have been for the best there. Hey, the candles. Little bits from the opening and whatnot. Songs and ideals pretty much the same, yet they themselves can't save anyone, but those that wield them is different. That was a sigh and a half, you know, one that doesn't want to partake in such manners, maybe? We haven't seen Mario, have we? Never leap into the music sheet of transformation. Okay. Ribbon gymnast motif. Makes sense with the extended whip sword. I think with the extra emphasis on the transformation and other aspects of this show, sure, it gives you that moment of reprieve between stuff happening, but gets you in the mood for it all, doesn't it? Especially when we're upping the ante slightly. How much of that body is real and not bionic or detachable? Oh, that was easy. Can we sit down and... Oh, they're gonna get on nicely, aren't they? Those are some impressive assets being hidden under there. I mean, in one regard or another, yes, that does answer a question. And doesn't particularly need to be immediately hostile. And if the others need blood, what about her? If she's, Inspector Gadget type extendo limbs and stuff. Yeah, the others need the blood, she needs WD-40. That's neat. It's got like a feather angel wing type design. So she has held them off for long enough. Maybe one day there will be a understanding. Yes. However, not everyone is of like mind. What was that just now? Blasting off again. I mean, in a world where we are more divided than ever, finding new ways to reject and hate each other, it's a message which could, mean a thing or two. Maybe we can embrace our differences and the reason why we hate each other. Ping. Ah. If spa time is over, get back on duty. Quite a nice junkyard. Do you think we'll find... Not what I imagined. I was going to say the Colonel Sanders under here, which only means anything if you've seen Higurashi. And honestly, I say honestly because I've read it, but honestly, seeing a band like this who are being used somewhat, as we can, it's leading us on that early, isn't it? With like their motivations and reasoning and who they're working for. Usually, you'd have some grand lair or anything, not just a rust bucket van in a junkyard. Where is she keeping that? And different yet same. Well, someone tried to. I mean, his choices weren't exactly vast. It was either throw slit and burned or try out the bracer, see what happens. Turn down the gain a little. Too avant-garde. I've heard a few radio stations which sound similar to that, actually. I mean, there isn't much they can do in the... Okay, well, fuck me, I guess. Take away what I was about to say. Until you wait for them to next crop up, but nope. Putting on a tracker is one way. It would be cool if we got a gang-wide transformation sequence at some point, rather than individuals. Still, massive mecha gauntlets is never not going to be fun to see. Especially when it's mixed in what seems to be like piano keys and the like. Song over! Amazing. So, well, we knew they'd come, so, you know, why not just put down landmines? Yeah, all too easy to read. They've got to protect what little home they have. I like that you got little guerrilla warfare trap master right there, you know. Laying plans and ambushes. Boom again. I mean, sure, go to 3 pillar cardinal directions. I like the overbearing church bell sound going on. Are we playing Tetris? Things can definitely get hairy. When's the Minotaur coming out? Setting up a labyrinth for them. Can they reverse engineer the cube? Oh, sorry, pyramid. They need a 4 for a cube. Hang on, is there actually a Minotaur in here? More conceptual weapons. Awesome. They are the monster in this. If it's a labyrinth, isn't that the one where you just stick to the left-hand side wall and you'll get out eventually? Good that none of them fell behind and were slow to run. Two things. One, why was Hibiki the only one being shown there? And two, well, we know what she's capable of. Ah. Do they have another attack in them? That one seemed to have worn them out a little. Who would have seen that coming? Having Saint Germain and whatnot come back to her in memory form. Believe in yourself. Burst through the impossible. You only lose when you give up. Are we going to get the classic catchphrase? When life gives you the impossible, just force yourself forward with even so. That was an explosion and a half. What about the others? Ah. Good. I mean, she is the resonant point for all of them, isn't she? How many times have they work together through her. Ha! Like a Buddhist lotus kind of... Was it Hindu? Lotus symbol. Interesting. Much like the Fine and whatnot. Having the spirit of Saint Germain behind each of the blows. Unfortunately, you're going to have to worry about what's coming behind that bat boomerang. Unplug! Quickly! And she took that move from one of them. Learn in advance. Okay then. A alloy of everything, a grand amalgam of powers. You seem to know how to use it pretty well. Also, how can she see in there? Is it a drill that will pierce the heavens? And I think... What a time for me to actually look at lyrics for songs. Hibiki, once again, having things out on her sleeve. Wanted to be able to sing along with others and come together with ideals and ideas. Return to your human bodies, you say. Well, why didn't you say so? Let's try and, sit down and come to terms with everything now then. So we'll take it as face value, just don't try and kill us anymore, right? If there's no need for you to lash out and attack. Well, they had their base invaded and surrounded. Interesting. Are they now going to become the fugitives on the run kind of thing? They've been deemed too powerful and too dangerous to be left alone anymore. National fallout and whatnot, having nukes fly over, you've got to find some way of coming to grips with everyone so that doesn't happen again. If Hibiki and the Symphogear's users and whatnot are that level of, oh shit, they coming, I can see you being used as some sort of leverage. But also, yeah, if the Japanese government is now cracking down on them, good thing that they kind of made amends and possibly a good standing with these three. Also, I'm drawing a blank. Did I see him there or not? I don't believe so. Our resident manager and ninja. I think it would be a bit harder for him to be caught up and unawares like that. I do like the idea of having their ideals and beliefs tested and strained. Having what they're fighting for and whatnot now being questioned. The Japanese government, either takes full control and therefore they don't have that kind of self-autonomy, or they're being put under lock and key. The next few episodes are going to be interesting to say the least. But yeah, a grassroots underdog adversary, one that lives in a fucking junkyard. Now, somewhat, understandable villains and motivations, fighting for your friends. I want to be human again. Screw everyone for making us whatever the fuck this is. But hey, it doesn't necessarily require civilian casualties, does it? I mean, sure, you can't just hand wave away and forgive them for everything they did. But yeah, grand animation, song, lyrics I only caught bits of because I keep forgetting to pay attention. Quite a lot came together in this episode. I like the full force punch and being able to pull your punches, stop in time. Something that I practice many a time. I have siblings after all. Knowing how not to hit them and yet instill that feeling of fear. It's a very tough skill to master. But I didn't expect to have Saint Germain just reappear in the flesh, so to speak. Having once again, pick her up, put her on her feet, push her forward, give her that pep talk to carry on. I just wonder what's next in store for them. Obviously, with the big reveal at the end of the last episode and now at the end of this episode, their whole world is going to be shifted slightly. I think karaoke and whatnot is going to be kicked down the road a little. Maybe next week. Miku's going to be disappointed. But how long do those three have left? How much blood do they have? Can they just obtain more easily? Well, since they've got the backing of certain people, I don't think they need to go rummaging through hospital banks and whatnot. Should be able to procure it fairly easy for them if they want to stay combat ready and efficient. But who said anything about easy? I do like Symphogear. It is peaks and troughs, is stuck up on me a few times, and it embedded itself as a mainstay. And I want to see just how deep all this mythology and shit goes. So, if you enjoyed this one, let me know. If you leave a like and a comment down below, it really helps out the channel, probably more than you'd even care to realise. If I earned it today, consider subscribing. You can also jump onto my Discord for full notifications and memes and votes whenever they happen. But definitely take care of yourselves, whether you're resting in a old vehicle somewhere, or in some sort of weird cryopod stasis med bay. That one's a bit harder to relate to. But take care of yourselves, get some rest, and I hope to see you in the next one. I need to move over. Center screen. I know that the ones that would listen to me rather than going in full guns blazing are my patrons who have managed to keep this channel alive without a steady supply of blood or governmental funding. So I do need to thank Sal, AegisDR, Darky26, Guado, Kite, Reds Racer, Ultra Pouring, Wolfie Sensei, Zug, and everyone else. For if it wasn't for you, I would still be crawling around the garbage heap of my channel. Oh, wait a minute. It still is. But at least we're having fun.